Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy Network. I am so happy that you're here to join us. Now, let me get rid of housekeeping. Let's start with housekeeping. If you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe, okay? What? If you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, okay? Because sharing is caring. I am your host, Jacqueline Charles, the hostess with the mostest. Okay. Now that I've done that, y'all know I'm gonna do a little fangirling, right? Just a little bit of fangirling, because y'all know I love positive women who are doing positive things. So before I introduce her, let me tell you how I met her, right? So I was invited. There was an event that Goodwill promoted, and they had a panel of people. So this lady comes out looking très chic, okay? When I'm telling you, she was from the head to the toe, from the head to the toe. And she was so nice. She wasn't one of those women that you thought that you would think like, oh, she thinks she cute. Because y'all know I don't be rolling like that. I saw her energy. I saw her laugh, because y'all see her pretty smile right now, right? And very educated, very articulate. When I said she held down the event, she held it down. Because you know, I host and I moderate. Yo, she taught me some things, right? So I was introduced to her, and I immediately was sucked in. I immediately loved what this woman was all about. Didn't know nothing else but her name, okay? Where she worked. So it's so we don't really give each other flowers like we should, because we talk about empowerment, and I think empowerment is overused and undersaturated. Okay, it's a word that we use. Y'all know I'm all about supporting sisters. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, if you're positive. I love it. And this woman has made me, the fact that she decided she wanted to do the show. When I tell you, I'm like, Beyonce who? Okay, because this lady's a mover and a shaker. She's very humble. So let me tell it my way. Okay, Miss Armstrong, let me do it my way. Thank you. So she's very modest. She's a mover and a shaker in Atlanta. She puts her heart on her sleeves. She wants people to succeed. She don't know that I've been stalking some of the stuff that she's been doing, okay? So she wants people to succeed. She has a heart of gold, right? So let me tell you a little bit about the one and only Miss Elaine Armstrong. She serves as Vice President of Marketing. Come a little closer. As the Vice President of Marketing, okay, for Goodwill of North Georgia. She's responsible for leading a team of highly skilled professionals, right? Y'all with me? Recently, she was named by Atlanta Business League as one of 100 most influential African American women in Atlanta. Okay, I'm done. Okay, let me drink some tea, because just to basically talk about her, I gotta keep sipping because my throat gets a little parched. That's what her accolades are talking about, right? So that was in 2019. 2019, a woman of influence by the March of Dimes. I'm telling you, when I say she a mover and shaker, she's a mover and a shaker. She was named PRSA Georgia's Inaugural 40 under 40 class and awarded nonprofit Pearl Marketer of the Year in 2020. Lord have mercy. When I say this woman is large, she's large. She also graduated Leadership Atlanta in class 2020. I don't know how she does what she does, but she makes it happen. So the women are worthy. We are so proud. We are so honored. We are so happy to have the one and only Miss Elaine Armstrong.
Well, you know what? Thank you, Jacqueline, for having me, but even more so for the best introduction that I have ever gotten. I could not. I guess that's the show. I don't even have anything to say. I'm so thankful for you for saying all of those kind things, and yeah, that is the best intro. If you introduce all of your guests like that, everybody should come on this show.
I've never had a no, to be perfectly honest. But at the end of the day, we're all celebrities. If you sign a check, you're a celebrity, right? That's your autograph. But I want women to understand that here we provide a safe place. I don't care what's going on, self-harm, or you or someone assault, whatever. We're here to give all women their accolades, because it's something we don't often get. We work so hard. You're the VP of marketing in Goodwill. it looks all glitz and glamour, but people don't know what you had to do to get there and to stay there as a woman. Let's keep it real, okay? So I want people to see how my energy, because it's no small feat or task for you to do what you do. You get up, you make it look all cute with roller skates, and I got this. No, and I want people to see what I see. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been stalking all your pages, girl. Call the police and tell them, okay, I found this. Okay, this is me. So I'm just, my question to you is, how are you balancing all of this?
You know what? Some days I do better than others. I will tell you, it is a daily task to balance, my work life and my personal life, and people use the term, and some of your guests may have already heard this, but work-life balance, and then it's become work-life integration, because truly, when you are, no matter what job you have, there's always going to be some crossover. Even if you have a job where you clock in and out and you think you can leave that job at home, what is on you from, your energy to what you dealt with at work or what you're dealing with at home, it crosses. We are humans. So all of those emotions that we have, all of the challenges that we have, they cross over. So I balance work-life integration and practice that every single day. Like I said, some days are better than others, but I have really been, in the last few years, just being intentional with my time and where I want to spend it and how I don't want to spend it, and just making sure that people know that, and that it's okay. Doesn't mean that there's anything against you or against, whatever the opportunity is, but I just know I have a finite amount of time. That's one thing that is the great equalizer for every single human being. We have 24 hours in a day. You might have more money than me. You may live in a bigger house than I do. You may live in a bigger city than I do. You may have, whatever you have, different. We may be different, but we all have the same 24 hours. And so how we choose to spend that and who we choose to spend it with is the one thing that we can control. And so I just learned, I have to control those things that I want to have in my life, and those things that I really don't. I have to make tough decisions sometimes. And sometimes there's two things I really want to do, but we all have those decisions to make. And I feel like it's helped me out, and I'm better for it, just making those intentional decisions and being really honest with people too, when I can't or when I don't want to.
And what I'm doing now, because I'm mentoring young girls, and I am basically implementing self-care as part of the mentoring, because I told them, you don't want to wait till when you're 30, 40, and 50 to start self-care. Do it now. We know you're working, so creating balance, it can be done. You just have to figure out what's your priorities, because to be honest, Elaine, what I've done, I basically, when people are talking about you building a table, I am the table. So, but the table also needs food, it needs plates, it needs all that. So what are you bringing to my table? And the same thing, I don't want you to think I'm just here just to be here. I'm intentional. I want to spend time with people I want to spend time with. And I just made the hard decision to tell a young lady, like, it's not working out. It's not you, it's me. It's not working out. I'm all about positivity. I don't need to be drained every day with your negativity. We're alive. That's positive. Once you're 6 feet above ground, that's half the battle. Right. So I agree with you on that. What would you tell your 16-year-old self?
That is a great question. And on any given day, it might change, because I probably tell myself a lot of things. Some of them that I can think of is one, life isn't always going to be as easy as it was up until 16. Now, at 16, I probably thought I was just like any other teenager, right? Oh, woe is me, or I can't do this, my mom won't let me go here, or I want to do this. But at 16, I didn't have any responsibilities. Let's just be honest. Outside of cleaning my room, going to school, getting good grades, there was really nothing that I had to do. And so I would tell myself to, one, life is there are going to be challenges that you have not ever experienced, and you are not going to know how to meet those challenges. You're going to find a way, but when they come, you're going to be searching for those answers, because at 16, unless you have been through some really trying things, life has probably not beat you down just yet. Hopefully, in most cases, for most of your listeners and most women, when they were 16, they didn't. And I didn't have those really tough, challenging things. I mean, there were some things that, I had to endure, but really I could look at 16 and say, hey, I had a great childhood. And so as an adult, there are some challenges that I might not have known yet. One of the other things I would tell myself too is to make sure that I am really being true to who I am and what I want to do. And so a lot of times it's so hard when you're a teenager and you've got peer pressure. My hats go off to all of the young women who are coming up now, with social media and so many things and so many influences. I think we had influences in our teenagers, but nothing to the magnitude I think that they're having to face today. And so finding your true center in who you are, I think, unfortunately, our young people have to find it even earlier than what we did, because there are so many things that can pull them in one direction or the other that really just aren't positive. And then the other thing I would do is you said so beautifully, about building your table, and you are the table, and making sure that you have people around you that are going to be positive. No matter what age you are, that is a lesson that I would tell myself at 16. I would tell myself today and tomorrow, that you have to surround yourself by people who are going to add to you and not take away. There are so many things in life that are divisive and that are subtractive to our lives, and we need to do things that are going to multiply and add to us. So those are some of the things that I would tell my 16-year-old self.
I had a conversation with a lady last night, and she said, I asked, she's about pouring into your cup and giving from your cup. And I agreed with her. Don't give from your cup. Whatever extra overflows, that's what you can give. Make sure your cup, and she was so eloquent about that. And I'm loving to see that our sisters, because Black women, African-American women, are known to be strong. We give birth to the babies in the cotton field, we going out, we still picking cotton, right? And I'm using that analogy, guys, because I want you to understand where I'm coming from, what I mean by that. We're known to be super women. We're strong. Something's happening to our mate or whomever. We just, when things happen in the male, in their space, let's do marches. Let's do Me Too movement. Let's do Good Evening, Miss Matthews. Let's do these things, right? So when do we get a break? I sometimes believe when you're a strong, assertive woman, people think you're okay. Because I used to have friends when I said, hey, I need to talk. Girl, you good. You strong, and we need loving too. We need our cheerleaders, Have you encountered that or in the past?
Yeah, you know what? Yes, absolutely. And I do agree with you wholeheartedly, particularly Black women. We're always known for being that very strong. And we probably can even point to, my grandmother was really strong. I have my mom and my sister. I come from a long line of strong women. But what that also does is it plays in your psyche that you can never break down. You can never have one of those moments where you know what, I need to be comforted, or I need to take a break. And I think that we have to be careful, right? We do have to be careful in our strength to understand that sometimes we are going to have weak moments. It doesn't make us a weak person, but it means that we are human. And I love all of the energy around, Black girl magic and Black women are superheroes. But I also think it creates sometimes this barrier that that's all we can be. And for ourselves, and you said self-care, which I'm so glad that you're sharing that with younger women and young girls, because they need to know that, every day is not going to be your strongest day. And that's okay. because tomorrow you might wake up and you might find that strength somewhere else. So it is okay. It is okay to admit that you need help. It is okay to be vulnerable. I will tell you that is a lesson in the last 2 years that I have learned and started to lean into, because I had a coach who told me your superpower is vulnerability. And, for me being, the person that I am, I always felt like I had to be on. I was always in jobs. And you mentioned you saw me at an event, and that's literally what I have been doing my entire career, whether it was being a news reporter or being in marketing, is I'm standing up and telling stories. So being on is okay for me. It's comfortable. But there are days where I just want to be off. I want to be off. I don't want to stand up there, and I don't want to use all the right words, and I don't want to be, I want to turn off. And so I am, and it's okay. And I will tell people today's not the day, or I just won't answer the phone, or I'm like, hey, I need a day to recharge. And I think we all have to recognize that it's okay for us to do that. And yes, we can be strong, but we are still human at the end of the day. So we can put on our superhero capes, but we can also take them back off.
Because then you have Clark Kent and Superman. And here's the thing, I had some conversation, because what I'm doing in my circle, we're talking about self-care. And I'm telling the young girls, because I have my girlfriends and then I have the mentees. And I'm telling them, for me, self-care is not a massage. For me, self-care is not pedicure. Self-care is not getting my hair done. Self-care is not getting my toes done. That's maintenance, right? Because when you have a car, you have to put oil in the car. You got to gas up the car. You got to wash the car. So in our community, stop it. Okay. Yeah. Look, don't email me. I'm telling you what I'm telling you. Okay. That's maintenance at the very least. Going on vacations, for me, what I find, because I do a lot of talking and speaking, I like going to the library. I keep saying it every day. It's my favorite place in the world. Why? Now, I've traveled a lot. Why? Because you gotta be quiet. You can't talk in the library. So with that, it helps me. Meditation at one point didn't help, because my brain was just, okay, let me do this, let me do that. So what I've decided to do, Elaine, when I'm talking to someone, I put away the phone. I am giving you 100%. For me, the biggest curse word in the English language right now for me is multitasking. I no longer subscribe to the multitasking anymore. As a type A personality, and usually type A's turn to have anxiety, depression, and panic attacks and things like that. So now when I'm talking to someone, I'm looking at them, I'm giving them because you know what? I realize whatever task I'm doing, I can do it tomorrow. But I was the one who's checking everything. Okay, today, next, but then you add more to the list. So I don't do that anymore. Let me read some of the comments we have. Miss Matthews' comment said, okay, one of her comments a while ago, this one, she says, sometimes we don't have a choice. What some see as strong may be forced survival. And that's true, but we do have a choice. We now have to, I am woman, hear me roar up. I don't want to hear all of that, because I've said this to my husband. He ain't gonna kill me. I've been married 34 years. I'm not bringing home the bacon, fried it up in the pan, and never let you forget you're a man. That Anjali stuff is over. Am I cooking, or what do you want? I can't do everything. And before, I would do everything, and then I was depleted.
That's right.
So I no longer do that. So and I'll have you comment when I read what she says. She said, Miss Matthews said, a while ago, a lady said of the babies being fed to alligators in Florida as bait for sport. In part, we didn't have the luxury to mourn, be openly depressed. There was no precincts to report it to. Wow. She also said, 50 Cent said, I've heard him say this, as of late, he keeps repeating, depression is a luxury. At first, I was perplexed by that. Like, there's nothing luxurious about depression. However, I now think he means that lady with the alligator. She also wrote, some slanted minds tend to purposely mistreat who they see as strong. It's a strange, ardent, administrative, toxic tactic. Oh, I like that. And if you know vulnerabilities, they exploit or chide it. When I tell you this lady's deep, she's deep. Yeah. So, but when I wrote multitasking, people person, now some are honestly advising, don't type that if you can't really furnish that. I mean, so now that we as Black women, we need to change the narrative, because our counterparts have no problem breaking down, and they're getting the help that they need. We don't need to compete. We don't need to, okay, if you're going to school, you got to try harder than our counterparts. That's too much pressure we're putting on our babies and ourselves.
Yeah. I agree with you. And to the comment about people exploiting vulnerabilities, absolutely, that does happen. I think and what I'm thinking about too in being vulnerable is letting people know, one, I might need help. I might need a day off. I might need a few minutes. I had my family here for the holidays, and I am an introvert. So it's interesting because most people do not think, based on what I do for a living, that I'm an introvert. But I said, I can do all of that. I have been trained. I am comfortable standing up in front of cameras and people. But what happens when those things go off, my energy comes from within. I am not necessarily energized by other people. And so I had, 5-6 other people in my house over the holidays. And I've told my family this, and some people, you might laugh, but I have a 3-day limit on family members. I got 3 days. That is it. And then on that 4th day, somewhere there along the line, something is going to break. But I'm going to have an attitude. Something is going to happen. And it's just because I've gotten to the point where I need to re-energize and I have to step away. So I might go to the store by myself. I might go outside, take a walk. I really need to re-energize. And then I come back and I'm all good. But vocalizing that and sharing with someone, especially with my mom and my sister, that, hey, this is just who I am, because the two of them they are the most hospitable people you will ever meet. You come over, what do you want to eat? I'm going to cook for you. They love to cook, and I am the total opposite. So I had to actually just be vulnerable in sharing that this is not who I am. And I want you all to be okay with it, because I had to come to grips with, I'm okay with that. So I think in terms of saying that, vocalizing where you might have challenges or where something is different for you, I think of that as vulnerability. But yes, absolutely. The person who was viewing is right, that sometimes people do try to exploit them. But I think we also have to use discernment when we know who those people are. And that's why, I double down on having those people around you who are going to be additive, not subtractive to your life.
Well, you mentioned something that's so true, because the 3-day rule definitely is in the here, right? And even when I go visit family, either when I go to New York, I may not tell family I'm there, and I get an Airbnb, and I am a tourist when I go home sometimes. Then when I make the mistake of posting on social media and I get busted. So now I wait until after I come home, then I post it. Then the family don't talk to me for a couple of days, but oh well, because I, like you, and I had to admit this, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm hyper and I'm just so fun in the sun. I had to finally realize, I took a test. I'm an introvert extrovert. I could not believe that. And you're right, when the cameras are on, but when it's off, for me, being in the house, my husband knows sometimes, don't talk to me. Love you, blah, blah, blah. Let me just stay in my circle. Let me read my books. And I have tons of books on the bed every night. He's constantly throwing them on the ground, because I have so many books on the nightstand, on the bed, 3 or 4 books that I can read. That's the only time I don't multitask. I have my Bible, I have this, I have that, because I like going around and, doing things. But I didn't realize, I never wanted to believe I was an introvert. I'm like, what are you talking about? But I realized, because then when everything's off, I want quiet, discernment. I don't like drama. I don't like negativity. It does something to my soul where that happens. So I have to have my space. Miss Matthews says, yes, personal space is the key to saneness. Girl, you got that right.
Yes.
If you so like if you were to be, let's say you had an option to take two things with you, right? To your
Mm-hmm.
60-year-old self, what
Mm.
would you take and what advice would you give your 60-year-old self?
Ooh, can my family be a thing? Can I
Nope,
take all of them?
nope, nope, nope,
Can I
nope.
take one person? I would
Inanimate object, nope.
an inanimate object. Okay. Okay. Well, that is
No Bible. We know you not a
yes,
Bible.
okay, I got you. I would take at least a pen and paper to with me, and hmm. Oh, that second one is going to be hard because I would not want to take anything electronic with me. I think that would be if I only had to take one thing. Um, I would say then a pen and a paper, or maybe those are two things.
That
Maybe
is
I would
two
say
things.
that
Yeah,
those would
that's
be
two
my
things.
two.
That's great that you said that because we know that's not going to exist in 60 years. And what we know is electronic is going to be like a dinosaur because
Yes.
I posted something the other day about the rotary phone and I brought one in. I went to Goodwill, I had one and I brought it into some of my Campbell High School students. And I said, "What's that?" And they're like, "What is that?" I'm like, "What do you mean, what is that?" And they're like, "What is?" I said, "That's a telephone. That's when you had to pick up the phone and actually dial the number. If you made a mistake, you had to
You have to
dial
start all over.
you had to dial all over again." And I said, back then you could pick up the phone and ask the operator, "Hey, the phone's busy. Can you can you interrupt the phone call?" That kind of thing,
Yes.
So it's just amazing to see where we are now.
Yeah.
And because I miss the good old days. I miss coming home from school because as a kid you didn't have responsibilities like that. Watching the Brady Bunch, watching the Little Rascals, watching Laverne and Shirley shows like that. And so now what I do is when I want peace or if I feel unsteady, I go on one of these channels that have old shows.
Oh, you and I are cut from the same cloth. My favorite television show of all time is I Love Lucy. I own the entire DVD set of every episode. I don't watch it on DVD anymore, but I do have them. But I love Lucy.
Okay, you're so funny you said that because I consider myself Lucy, my husband's Desi, because I'm always coming up with some schemes, and he's my Desi, like no, 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 and so I always tell people he's my Desi to my Lucy.
Oh, that is
so I like watching older. It's Leave It to Beaver. They do something for me. The old Julia. My husband now found room 227 or so 222 or 227 or whatever. So we're watching that. So each night now the honeymooners love it. Yeah. So we're now watching things like that because I realized that's when I was the most safest growing up. Yes. That's what was such pleasure, because I've gone through trials and tribulations like everyone else. But that's where I felt, and the memory that it left me, and when I'm watching it, how I feel, so that's what good times, but what's happening. But it's something about those shows we mentioned, the I Love Lucy and, the Honeymooners and Leave It to Beaver and, Family Affair, those kind of shows. It just because I was a kid, it was innocent back then. Love the Brady Bunch, right?
Yes.
Right? Yes. Loved it. And I can watch it and I can know what's coming on. And I like old movies. Last night, my husband wanted to watch It Happened One Night with Clark Gable. And we love old movies. That's where we are. So to see what you're doing. So the fact that let me, I don't want you to walk me through your day because I'd be dizzy because you do a lot. What fulfills you personally and professionally?
I will start professionally first. Just spending time with my team and watching them grow and being able to get to the point where, and you read in my bio, a highly skilled team of professionals, and I put that in there on purpose because I am certainly blessed with a team of marketers and communications experts that can handle their own. And that is so fulfilling just to be able to support them in whatever they want to do and however they want to grow. and they run the department. I make decisions all day, but they do everything. So I'm literally like, if you need me, call me. If you need me to weigh in on something, you need me to review something, but they get the work done. So I'm really, really fulfilled when I am supporting them and helping them to grow and do what they want to do at work and even in their personal lives. I'm so for supporting them. So whatever they want to do on volunteer, if they want to be on boards, if they want to join organizations, I love to see and support that. Personally, for me, what's fulfilling, I love my family. Again, I have that 3-day rule, but I love them dearly. I will fight you down about every last one of them, argue you down about every last one of them. But I guess when I turned 30, I really started getting into fitness and nutrition. And for me, that has become an integral part of my life. So I have several fitness certifications. And for me, when you talk about self-care and mental health, my fitness and nutrition plays into that completely. I am a big proponent of, what you put in your body and what you challenge your body to do will show and make you feel something on the back end of it. And so that's totally part of what I do. If I don't work out, in succession for a couple of days, I go into them, I get a little bit off, I don't feel as focused, and I know exactly what it is. I can tell people, it's like, I haven't worked out in a couple of days. And that isn't like me, because I try to do at least 6 days a week, but I know when I skip a day or two, I can feel it. And so that is definitely something that is central in how I manage, but also just for my mental health. It helps me get a lot of things out because I feel accomplished afterwards. I will tell you, even if I did a light workout and I didn't go as hard or lift as heavy as I wanted to, I've never wasted a workout. You cannot waste a workout. You cannot put as much as you wanted to into it, or maybe didn't go as long as you wanted to, but it's never wasted, because anything that you do to move your body is always going to be a benefit for you. So I am a huge proponent of incorporating some type of movement and fitness and exercise into your daily life.
For me, I'm with you on that, because I notice when I don't work out or I take long stretches, I feel like the Incredible Hulk is bubbling underneath.
Yes.
And any little moment I can just snap. Yeah. So I know when I work out my mental, and I know for a fact already that if I didn't have to go to the gym or walk or whatever, if I didn't have that, I don't mean physically be here. My mind wouldn't be here. And I would be sitting on someone's couch every single day, because it does something to your endorphins. Yeah. Because like this morning I worked out around, 5 o'clock or something, because I'm an early morning workout person. So now I made a commitment to go back into the gym. That's when I was my fittest, going into the gym, not just walking, weights, so there's this machine that I call, it's my ex-husband, but I'm getting married back to, we call it the Monster. It's one of those big steppers that's like 7 feet high. So I nicknamed it the Monster. So when I don't go to the gym and I go back, I'm like, hey, honey, Mama's back. I missed you. I hate you, but I miss you. It's a whole big thing in the gym. People are looking at me and they're like, what in the heck? And then when I get on it, I'm stroking the rails and I'm like, yes. So what's so good is, so now I have a trainer. And what I've done was, I find when I'm working out now, because I'm challenging myself, because I can only do 2 minutes on it, right? Yeah. Now, a couple of days ago, I did 7 minutes, because I want to keep doing it, because this is no joke, and this is an all around fitness thing when you do the Monster, right? And I love it. So I'm arguing, I'm yelling at it, and I'm like, it's a perfect marriage, right? Perfect marriage. But I'm taking it more seriously, because especially what happened during the virus and other things may happen in the world. I don't want to be unhealthy to survive, because they say only the fittest will survive. I want to be fit. I don't want it to be, I want to build up my stamina. I want to look good in a dress too. I want to be able to expose my stomach again and do things like that. Yeah, I'm vain. Yeah, of course. I just want people to see It doesn't matter your age.
That's right.
Commit yourself to that. What you garbage in, garbage out. What you feed yourself is exactly what you're going to look like, right?
Yes.
So I just applaud you in every areas of your life. You are definitely, when you were given those accolades, you were given it for a reason. You're very humble. I remember when I met you, you talked about your staff. That's all she kept talking about, y'all. Her staff, her staff, her staff. That shows you what a good leader she is, because not even, she doesn't have to be in the room. The people who she's leading, the people who she's working with, you notice I didn't say for, who's working for her, who she's working with, they can be in the room and she doesn't have to worry about what they're going to say, what they're going to do, because they take pride in their job. Again, it always starts from the bottom, from the top down. And look, that man that we have running Goodwill, and y'all know, Goodwill, and y'all know that I actually interviewed him. This young lady, I had to snatch her up because, it's Women Are Worthy, and we wanted to have a conversation with her. What would you like the audience, what would you like to leave them with? Anything.
Yeah. So I will say again, just, tap into those things that you are important to you. If the pandemic, some people call it the plandemic, whatever you call it, because there are a lot of people who made plans and are now coming to fruition. But if it didn't teach us anything, I think for me, it taught me you have to define and even sometimes redefine what's important to you. And sometimes that may be a daily task because things are going to change in your life. But we have such a finite time on this earth that we have to make sure that those things are super important to us, that we hang on to and that we fight for them. And take care of yourself, whatever that means to you. Like I said, I'm a big proponent of fitness and nutrition, but it might be just like you, going to the library and having quiet time. It may be spending time with your children, or it may be, going outside and just sitting for 10 minutes so that you can soak up a little bit of vitamin D from the sun. Whatever those things are, take the time to do it because you only have 24 hours in the day. And then the other thing too is I love what you said about the monster and challenging yourself. And I think that is a lot of times we will get to the point where we have worked so hard or we've overcome some challenges, and then we get to a point where we're okay, and then we stop working so hard and challenging ourselves. And I think that it doesn't mean that you have to struggle, but there's always something that can challenge you to get to the next level, whether you're trying to go from 2 minutes to 7 minutes on the monster, or whether you're challenging yourself to say, hey, I want to read 3 books this year, or you're challenging yourself to save a little bit more money, or whatever it is. Come up with some way. If you want to go back to school, if you want to learn something, if you want to pick up a hobby, I think we continuously need to start learning, because for me, if I don't keep learning something, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm regressing. So I am always trying to seek out new information, trying to learn something new, engage in something new. And there's many, many ways you can do that. But I think being too comfortable will make you uncomfortable in the end, because you won't be growing. And I want everybody, particularly for us as women and African American women, we need to continue to grow and evolve so that we can pass that down to the next generation. And I will say, leave that with the last thing is, everybody has gems. Everybody has something to give. I don't care who you are. Your story is going to inspire someone else. You may not know it yet, and you may not think it is, but somebody else needs to hear from you. And whatever and however you can do that, make sure that you share it with somebody else, because somebody else needs to be inspired by you, and just continue that cycle on. But this has been amazing. I am so honored to have been a part of this. Your energy is infectious. I love what you are doing here, and you're bringing women in to tell their stories. You're bringing men on to pour into your audience. And I just really, really appreciate the Women Are Worthy Network. I love the name of it, because women are worthy. And keep doing what you're doing, Jacqueline. Keep at it. Don't stop. keep going. And I really thank you. Really thank you for the opportunity.
And we thank you. We have the VP of Marketing, which is Miss Elaine Armstrong. But so I want to do a quick word association with you.
Okay.
Couple of Goodwill.
Mission.
Elaine Armstrong.
Growing.
Survival.
Prayer.
Women are worthy.
Amazing.
Oh, I like that. I like that. And the last one will be March.
March. Today.
Didn't I tell y'all she was? Didn't I tell y'all? I told y'all. And this is, we talk about March is Women's Health Month. Look, I'm a woman all year round. I don't need 1 month. It's great that we're getting that notice, but we're women all year round. We kick butt. We birth babies. We adopt babies. We do so many things. So if you're a mother out there, and if you're a woman out there and you have no children, yes, you do have children. You have nieces, nephews, friends, and sometimes if you got a significant other, you his mama too. It happens. So we want to thank everyone for tuning in, because you know what, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, you can be anywhere on earth. I'm building my channel. I want to continue to bring more things, and on the weekends, on Sundays, we're doing the vegan cooking show. So if you're out there, you want to sponsor, let us know, folks. So we have sponsorships available. We're looking, because we're bringing guests on as well. We're going to have chefs. We're going to have people. I'm going to be doing some vegan cooking. I'm going to be educating about, the spices and stuff, because y'all know my heritage, Jamaican and Cuban. So I want to share some of the things. So at the end of the day, I'm doing this because I want to show women that I support them. I want to show other women, if you're thinking about doing something that's going to harm you, don't do it, because you know what? There's always tomorrow. And think about it. Y'all know I've been sex trafficked and all that stuff. I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have known all these great people, Elaine, Miss Matthew, Gloria, all of you ladies, Judy, everyone. So I want everyone to understand, you're going through something, you got to keep at it, because there's a breakthrough at the end. That our Lord and Savior, I'm telling you, just keep praying, keep surrounding yourself around positive people. Life was not meant to be, it should be easy, but it's not at times. But bad times don't last long. Don't last long. You can triumph. So again, on a happier note, we want to thank everyone for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel. It will tell you who's going to be our next guest. We have amazing people. I think the next upcoming guest, I think she's an African-American woman who has her nail polish in a lot of beauty salons that you guys have no idea. She created it. So those are the type of things we're bringing to the platform. So without further ado, I want you to have a fabulous Friday, a turnaround Sunday, and also self-care Saturday as well. Tomorrow's gonna be Wednesday, so wind down Wednesday. And again, take time. You are number one. Take care of you, okay? Don't let me come and get you now. I love you in the name of Jesus. Bye, y'all.
Bye.